Starting from 1957's Sputnik launch by USSR space agencies explored many parts of the universe, still continued. They had touched the moon, walked in space, explored the red planet, record signal from outer solar system and reaching different corners of the universe time by time. Here top 10 iconic moments in the history of space exploration. 10 Apollo 13 space rescue. Apollo 13 was NASA's third space program to land on Moon. It launched on April 17, 1970. On the second day after making a journey of 200,000 miles, one of oxygen tank got exploded. Many power systems and life-supporting equipments damaged as a result of massive explosion. The pressure within the compartment also raises by 1,000 times. Once of fuel cells of Apollo 3 got drained because of unavailability of oxygen. At that situation, a safe lunar landing became impossible and the crew forced to abort the mission and to return to Earth. At the same time, NASA engineers determined that entire oxygen would run out from Apollo 13 before the crew reached on Earth. But they managed to reach on Earth by April 17 using Lunar Module. 9 Spaceship OWN. First manned private flight. Spaceship OWN is the first ever manned private flight that launched at first in the year 2004. It used to fly at a boundary of 100,000 meters. In 2004 this spaceflight won prize of Ansari X prize worth $10 million. In the competition, Spaceship OWN flew in the suborbital plane with 3 passengers. It also became first spaceflight to flew in altitude of 50,000 feet with 2 turbojet White Knight, the mothership. The exploration of Saturn became a dream of mankind since the discovery of its fabulous ring system. Universe 8 Hubble Space Telescope. Revolution in space observation. Hubble Space Telescope is the largest and most versatile optical telescope that launched in the year 1990. It was originally developed by NASA along with contribution of European Space Agency, situated in the lower Earth orbit. It managed to capture high-resolution images in sky that led to making deep study about space. It also became the first space telescope that have a design which allows to make repairments by astronauts. The images from different parts of sky captured by Hubble Space Telescope also helped scientists to make deep study about expansion of universe. It also helped NASA to monitor the space shuttles, spacewalks and different procedures in space. 7 International Space Station. Habitable artificial satellite. International Space Station is launched in the year 1998, an artificial habitable satellite situated in our Earth orbit. It is the largest artificial body in space, can even observed by naked eye at appropriate time. International Space Station is managed and used by 5 different space agencies: NASA, ESA, CSA, Roscosmos and JAXA. ISS acts as home for astronauts and they can make different experiments within it. It manages more than 20 times signals than that of spacecrafts, also used for testing spacecraft instruments. 6 Sputnik I. First artificial Earth satellite. Grab our newsletter. Never miss a list from TMW. It is the first ever artificial satellite, launched back in 1957 by Soviet Union. The successful launching of Sputnik I became the start of space age. It was a 23-inch spherical-shaped satellite. It had power to calculating the density of atmosphere and for transmitting radio signals. Sputnik I sends signals to Earth for 22 days since the launch and finally burned on the 4th of January 1958. 5 Viking I. First successful Mars landing. Viking I is one of 2 spacecraft of Viking mission from NASA. Another one is Viking 2. It was launched back on the 20th of August 1975. Viking 2 also followed it and successfully landed on Mars by the 20th of July 1976, became first ever spacecraft to touch on Red Planet. It made long study on Mars for more than 2,307 days. The high-resolution photos of Mars sent by both Viking I and Viking 2 revolutionize entire concept of Mars. It also made deep study about vapor on Martian atmosphere and tested samples from surface of Mars. It helped the scientists to get deep knowledge about atmosphere and surface condition of Mars. 4 Voyager I. Farthest man-made object from Earth. Voyager I is the first ever man-made object to enter interstellar space. It launched back in 1977, in mission of making deep study of solar system and held the record of operating for 36 years. It went out of solar system on the 12th of September 2013, actually 12 billion miles from Sun. Scientists determined that Voyager I traveled through a plasma for more than 1 year after entering interstellar space. Voyager also detected the pressure variation in between the edge of solar system and interstellar space. Point 3 Apollo 8, first spacecraft that circles the Moon. Apollo 8 is the first ever spacecraft from NASA that entered Moon's orbit. This manned spacecraft launched back in 1968. Frank Borman, James Lovell and William Anders are the crews of Apollo 8 mission. It successfully revolves on Moon's orbit and safely returned back to Earth. A crew of Apollo 8 became the first ever human to watch Earth's entire planet. The photograph they took from Moon's orbit, the Earthrise, also became one of iconic photograph in the history of mankind. Point 2 Yuri Gagarin, first man on space. On the 12th of April 1961, Major Yuri Gagarin held the record of first human to enter the space. Vostok I was the spacecraft took him to space, operated by Space Agency of Soviet Union. It also became the first human spaceflight in the history of space exploration. The mission duration of Vostok I was 1 hour and 48 minutes. Managed to separate Yuri Gagarin from spacecraft at right position on space. Point 1 Man on Moon. On the 20th of July 1969, NASA held record of the first space agency to put man on Moon. On that day, Neil Armstrong became the first ever human to touch Moon. Buzz Aldrin followed him. Apollo 11 was the spacecraft used for the manned Moon mission. Michael Collins piloted the spacecraft. They collected samples from Moon's surface and took photographs. They also put an American flag on Moon's surface before they returned back to spacecraft. Finally, on the 24th of July 1969, they safely reached on home Earth.